to be filming my very first tutorial since my YouTube break. Let's all just take a moment. It's been a while, I know, although I did pre-film quite a few videos, so there's been a few weeks, couple of weeks break here and there, but like overall, the impact hasn't been too high to you guys. But for me, sitting in front of a camera, like putting on my makeup is a little bit strange for me because it's been a while. So first things first, I live in an apartment now. If you haven't heard me talk all about that, make sure you check out my I'm back video. It's about a half an hour long, but I catch you up on everything that's been going on in my life, why I took the break. But first things first, I have a window that overlooks the pool area of our apartment complex, and it's kind of loud out there right now. It's about 11 o'clock, almost 11:30. It is time to get out by the pool. There's kids screaming. Actually, I think there's just one kid, but he is screaming. I think there's only like 2 kids that live in this apartment complex, period. One of them is out there. Anyway, so if you hear like noises and stuff, it is what it is. Unfortunately, I can't stop it. I can't make the noises go away, and I don't want to put off filming any longer. So, yeah, today we're talking about this baby right here. I'm sure if you are a YouTube fan or a makeup fan in general, you know what this is. You've probably watched about 800 videos on this already, but this is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. I've actually had this for a while now. I was one of the very lucky ones. I was able to purchase the palette right away. I didn't have to wait in any kind of virtual line. I got in, I got out, I checked out, and I got the palette the next day, 2 days later, like crazy fast shipping. So I've had this for a while and I've used it a lot, but I've noticed that I use a lot of the same colors over and over and over again. So yeah, I wanted to do a look with you guys, kind of using my favorite colors from the palette. This isn't gonna be a crazy, unique, different look that you've probably never seen before. I think I could get that with these colors right here because the variety of colors in this palette is just, she did such a good job, you guys. But what I was trying to say is I've used this palette a lot. So this isn't gonna be like a first impressions video. But I can already tell you, like, I really like this palette. I will say the colors swatch beautifully, but some of them, you have to really build them up. So you have to layer and layer and blend and add more color, which is kind of a Jaclyn Hill thing. So if you watch her videos, she loves to layer and layer and layer and layer. And when you think she's done, she layers some more. And so I think these colors and these shadows were created with that layering effect in mind, because I've noticed that although the swatches are really pigmented, when you put them on your eye, like sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, where did that color even go? And you have to really, really build it up. With that being said, the colors are beautiful. I'm not complaining. I think layering is a great technique. If you have the time to blend and blend and blend, it makes your makeup look better. So that is something that you're gonna get a better makeup look overall. Your colors are gonna look more blended, more blown out, more flawless. So I think it's not a bad thing. It's just something that the other, like the Natasha Denona, which I got that palette too. I bought that for myself for my birthday. First swipe and you're gonna have a ton of pigment. This one, you know what I mean? So I'm not gonna go through and swatch them all for you because there's about 500 million videos of people already doing that. Jaclyn Hill herself has a great swatch video where she goes through, swatches them all. So I'll link that down below. I'm sure you guys have already seen it, but if you haven't, I'll link it down below. So I'm not gonna go through and like swatch them all because that would take forever. I think Glam Life Guru Tati did it. I know Samantha did it. I've watched a ton of videos. So anyways, so I'm not gonna go through and swatch them all, but there is a couple colors that I really wanna swatch for you guys because on my faves, you can probably see the ones that I've used a lot. So I've used that one a lot. I've used this one a lot. So this one right here, and I'm gonna try to do like a snapshot thing where I can go in and like star the colors that I'm showing you guys and the colors that I'm using, because I feel like that might be a little bit better for you. But the colors that I've been using a lot, so these two are matte colors and they're pretty much the exact same color. They're just like one's a slight bit darker. I've been using them both actually. So this one right here, which is called Silk Cream, I've been using a lot as kind of like my all over lid color to just like start the transitions and stuff like that. And then the one next to it is called MFEO. I think that's made for each other. These two I've been using quite a bit. I mean, they're pigmented on swatch. I'm not gonna deny that. They're pigmented on swatch, but you'll see when I put them on my eye, you're gonna be like, where did it go? I have to layer it up. So there's that. Let me get a makeup wipe over here really quickly. So those two, I almost dropped the palette. Yeah, even just catching the palette, look. I was dropping it and I had to catch it. Really, really pigmented. So I'm loving those. I also really like these like shimmery colors. So there's two specifically right here that I stinking love. So the first one is Obsessed. And the second one is SBN, which stands for Smoky But Natural. I really like these colors. So I've always been a fan of like a shimmery lid. And I feel like these two colors are just perfection when it comes to that all over lid color. Sometimes I'll do Smoky But Natural all over, and then I'll do Obsessed, like dot it right in the middle. Oh, I love that. So those two I have really, really been digging into and I love them. And as you can see, they swatch beautifully. And then some other ones that I've really been liking. So I think the mattes in this palette are in a league of their own. They're super, super buttery and super, super creamy. And I'm like out of breath. Why am I out of breath? I feel like it's like the humidity and like the weird air here. Like it's harder for me to talk. Sorry that I'm like panting. But the mattes in this palette, she really did do a great job of creating a formula that is really super creamy, like buttery feeling, blendable. You have to build them up, as I was saying before, but there's not a whole lot of fallout. Like she did a really good job with the mattes here. So there's a couple, this one right here, which is called Buns. Really, really like that one. The one right next to it, which is called Jax, Jacz, I really like that one. And then where's, oh, this one right here. The one right below Silk Cream Pooter. That's a weird name. Pooter. I've really been liking those. So you can see, I mean, they are like uber pigmented. Look at that. Super, super pigmented. So I'm gonna create a look using mostly those colors. I might incorporate some more here and there. There's some like kind of pinkier toned ones over here that are just like really speaking to me. And I haven't, well, I played with a couple of them, but let's just put some makeup on my eyes, shall we? All right, I'm gonna start with Silk Cream and I'm gonna put that all over my lid again to just kind of get things going. I've been doing this. I really wish there was a matte highlight color, or like a matte super cream color. But this is kind of the closest one to the palette, so it works. It's a little bit darker than my skin tone, as you can see, but I will say my first impressions when I opened my package was that the packaging is really, really cheap. So it's cardboard, and it's like cheap cardboard. Like it feels like it's recycled cardboard. And like it's just a package, who gives a crap, right? But I know they had to cut costs to make the palette cheap because it's Morphe. Like it's supposed to be affordable. And you can definitely tell where they cut costs was the packaging. So that was a little bit disappointing, but other than that, like, I mean, I guess it would be nice if the names of the shadows were like on the palette. She gives you this little name card and you have to reference this for the name. So like you have to keep this if you want to reference the name. So if you're somebody who does YouTube and you want to constantly be able to refer back to the name, like you have to keep the card, which kind of sucks. So I don't know, but other than that, like, I don't have a whole lot of complaints about the palette. It does get dirty really quickly also, like because it's such cheap packaging. It's like cardboard. Like, I mean, there's a fingerprint right there. The back is all dirty, so. Okay, so next I'm gonna go in with the color right next to it, MFEO. Remember I told you I use both of these colors even though they're pretty much the same. And I'm gonna just dig this into the crease a little bit deeper, and I'm gonna stick to just the crease and kind of drag it up just a little bit. So whereas with Silk Cream I went all over the lid, this one I'm gonna stick to just the crease area to really deepen that out and just like kind of highlight the shape of my eyes and give some depth and definition, all that fun stuff. Okay, next I'm gonna mix Roxanne and Jax together. So I swatched Jax for you. Roxanne is the color right next to it. So I'm just gonna like take my brush and like dabble into both of them, back and forth, and get kind of like a mixture of those two colors. And I'm gonna put that in my crease as well, because why not, right? These colors are so pretty. They have like a reddish undertone to them. I mean, you can see it's not like pow in your face pigmented. You have to really build it up. But these colors are really pretty. They have a bit of a reddish undertone to them. So it's really pretty for fall, summer. I mean, it's definitely a warm toned. There's a lot of warm tones in this palette, which is totally Jaclyn. I mean, did we expect anything else? She's a warm tone lover. I don't hate her for it. I love warm tones myself. It's pretty much 95% of the time I will be wearing a warm eyeshadow look because I feel like it's the most flattering, especially with brown eyes. I just feel like warm tones are the most flattering. But this one I'm going to drag up quite a bit. I don't have to go back and get more pigment, but if I really wanted to pack a punch and make this like really dark, I would have to keep layering. You know what I mean? But this is daytime, like this is a daytime look. I have to go out after this. Matt and I are gonna go to the mall. I have some clothes I have to return, and then we're gonna go to dinner. So, yeah, I'm not going to the club. But if you want crazy eyeshadow during the day, and by crazy, I mean artistic and deep, do you. Do whatever makes you happy. Now I'm going in with just a clean, fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna kind of buff all of this out a little bit. Again, to kind of diffuse everything and kind of smoke it out a little bit. Doing this takes away some of the pigment though, so you can see the color is getting less rich and less pigmented, still beautiful. But like I was saying before, if you really wanted to make this a deep look, you gotta layer and layer and layer. But this is a technique I like to do. I go in with a different brush and just kind of like buff everything out once it's in place. You know what I mean? That's really pretty. Okay, now I'm gonna go into Smoky But Natural. In Jaclyn's video, I'm gonna put this all over my lid, by the way. In Jaclyn's video, she mentioned that this is like the perfect bridal eyeshadow. And of course my ears perked up and I was like, bridal eyeshadow? You know, because I'm kind of trying to get ideas for my own wedding. But now that I look at it, like, I don't know that I would wear this all over my lid as a bridal look. Like, it's super pretty, but in my mind, I'd want something a little bit more champagne-y. And maybe that's because that's like the look that I want to go for on my wedding day. Because there's champagne in my dress, so I want to incorporate some champagne in my eye look. So I don't know, I've never been a makeup artist that does makeup on other people, but maybe this is a color that a lot of brides do like. So I'm not knocking it, I love it, but like when she said bridal look, I was like, ooh! And now that I have it, I'm like, I don't know if it's a bridal look for me. Okay, I'm gonna go back to, what is this, Roxanne, put it on a more pointy blender brush. I used this one in the beginning for, I wish the names were on the palette, MFEO. So I'm just using that same brush and I'm just gonna kind of deepen the crease a little bit, blend everything together. You know the drill. Okay, now I'm gonna go into Obsessed, which is right next to Smoky But Natural, and I'm gonna put this right in the middle of my eye. I love this color. I think if anything, I would use Obsessed as my overall lid color on my wedding, if I was gonna pick one of the two. But I like to just pop this right in the center of my lid because I feel like it just brings light to my lid. I love colors like this. I just love them so much. They work really well together. So this is what I've been doing a lot lately. I've been kind of skipping the more red tones for a daily go to work look. And I've been using buns instead, the color I swatched for you earlier. But I really like the red tones. I think I'm gonna add one more color just right to this outer part of my lid to kind of deepen things up a little bit. I'm gonna use Chip, which is right below buns. It's kind of like a chocolate matte brown color. It's really pretty. And I'm just gonna dab this on kind of like the outer V of my eye with a dense little brush, little blending brush here. And I'm gonna drag it up. There are dogs barking right now, and my dogs are not barking, which makes me wonder, like, are they getting into trouble? But they have bones right now in the living room that I can hear them chomping away on, but like my dogs are barkers, you guys. They are barkers. And living here in an apartment complex, like, ugh, they bark at everything. Everything they bark at. Must be a dachshund thing. Okay, next I'm gonna go into Beam, which reminds me a lot of a Max Nylon, which I know Jaclyn loves, so I feel like she was inspired by Max Nylon when she created this. But I'm gonna tap this into my brow bone just to highlight my brow. I'm not much of a satiny, shimmery brow highlight person. I much prefer matte shadows, but like I was saying before, there isn't a matte highlight or matte cream color in this palette. So I'm gonna use this because it's here, but I think if I were to give any feedback at all, that would be my one request, is a matte highlight. But other than that, like, you have every single color that you could possibly need to make a really pretty eye look. I'm just buffing this out a little bit more because it just looked a little weird to me. So along with the pool noise, there's also stompers with lead feet who live above me. So you'll probably hear stomping a lot throughout my videos also. I know I talked all about this in my my I'm back video. I call it a my I'm back video. But if you didn't watch that, yeah, they're stomping right now, which just kind of reminded me, like, stompers. Okay, I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender that I used earlier today and just kind of like straighten up these edges. I mean, it didn't do too bad of a job, so they're pretty straight, and there isn't like any fallout. There's a little bit of fallout, but as you can see, she did a really good job of making sure there was no fallout with these, so that's good. So now I'm gonna go into my bottom lash line. Where's my brush? There's my brush. I'm gonna use this brush right here. It's just kind of like my universal. By the way, this is the Smith 232 brush. I use it a lot. I think I'm gonna go into Roxanne, which is like the orangey reddish matte brown that I mixed with Jack's in my crease. And I'm gonna put this on my lower lash line. Oh yeah. Ooh, got that in my eyeball. That's really pretty. I'm gonna layer it up a little bit so you can see, like, you have to layer it. Get more on the brush, kind of drag it up a little bit. And then lastly, I'm gonna go into Chip and put that on the outer, like, 1/3 of my lower lash line and kind of connect the top to the bottom. Alright guys, I know it looks crazy right now because, first of all, this needs to be blended a little bit more. But makeup always looks crazy. Makeup always looks crazy before liner and lashes. So I'm gonna step away, do my liner and lashes, come back and show you guys a finished look. But here's what the shadow itself looks like. I think it's important when you're doing an eyeshadow tutorial to show what the eyeshadows without the liner and lashes look like, because liner and lashes can really change the look of your eyes, your eye look. So this is what it looks like without the liner and lashes. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. Is it totally unique? No. Do I have lots of other eye looks that look kind of like this? Probably. But I really like the palette. So I'm gonna step away, I'll be right back, and yeah. All right guys, so here is the finished look with liner and lashes. This lash was a beast. I had to put it on 3 times, and even still, the corner is like flopping in the breeze. Me and false lashes, it's a love-hate relationship. But anyways, here's what it looks like. My lips, by the way, because I always get asked, it's actually a lip liner, so it's the Bite Beauty, their new lip liners in number 10. And then I just put chapstick over it because my lips are really chapped right now, per usual. I guess that's something that's never gonna change no matter where I live. And then my blush, I'm wearing Too Faced Baby Love mixed with a Chanel blush. Chanel something Sun? Gimme Sun? No, that's MAC. Anyways, so here's what it looks like. I really like it. I'm really digging it. I think it's very summery. It's very fun. It's not too deep. It's not too much. Like, I feel like I can go to the mall and like, this will be okay. And you know what? I was also remembering, every single time I've worn this palette out, I get complimented on it. So I went to Ulta actually the first day I wore it, and the girl there was like, oh my gosh, your eye makeup is really good. What is it? I was like, oh, it's the new Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. And that was like the weekend after it launched. She was like, you got it already? I was like, yeah, I guess I was lucky, which I was, thank goodness. But anyways, I definitely recommend this palette, you guys. It is totally worth the price tag. I think it's only like $38 here in the US, which isn't bad. I mean, shipping is a beast. It always is. Morphe's shipping is ridiculous, but it's fast. I got it in 2 days and I live in North Carolina. So definitely recommend. There's supposed to be a restock in July sometime. So this month sometime there's supposed to be a restock. So keep your eyes peeled. You can only buy it on Morphe.com or in the Morphe store in Burbank, California, or eBay. But don't buy them on eBay. People are posting them for like way too much. So anyways, that is my thoughts. I'm so happy to be back. Thanks for watching my very first makeup tutorial. Well, not my very first one, but my first one in a long time. And I feel refreshed like it is my first one. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.